Hi, so I'm going to go through the game I created called Marketplace Language Quest. So you, as the player, are going to play as a little robot who has to navigate around the shop and pick up items. But the difficulty is that the items are in a different language. You are going to have to learn a new language. That's the main aim of the game. So I can go start off with the shop preferences. So in the shop preferences, I can pick how many items I want in the shop and how many items I want on my shopping list. So I'm going to say around 8 and 4. So that's how many items I have to collect. So if I put that up high and put this low, then that's more of a challenge. If it's the same, then that's obviously going to be very easy because I just have to get all of them. I can set the total minutes, so less minutes will be a harder challenge. I'm going to do Spanish because I think I know a bit still from school, so let's see how I get on. I can click on tutorial to have the tutorial play. Okay, so we're now in the game screen. So I can click on the player, and when I click on the player, I can move with the nav mesh. I can see all the items I have in my shopping list, and so this is what I need to get.
Sandía,
Okay, Sandia,
watermelon,
Sandia.
sandía,
No, it's not there. Okay, I'm gonna put it back. Okay, so crisps. Now obviously with the tutorial I can see what the language is, so it's a lot easier. I can add them to the cart and then remove them. I can use this button here to turn the camera around. Okay, I'm gonna go to checkout because I think I'm done. I know I haven't got all the items, but I'm pretty sure I've got ice cream. That's the main thing. So now the checkout button becomes active. So I got one item right. That's all that was in my inventory anyway. And these are the items I didn't get. So I can learn now. Okay, these are what I need to get next time. So that's what onion is, Cebulla. Okay, now we're gonna play for real now. Now, we don't get the little language prompt anymore, so it's not so easy. So I'm point and click where I want to go. Back to checkout. Okay, so I didn't get any right. So guess I don't know the language too well. I can go back to main menu and then press exit. So I'm now going to look at the main code used in the game. So the main scripted object in the game was the multilingual data. And the multilingual data stored a sprite, the language data, and the language data was the language type, the clip audio, and the language text. So if I come back here, I can look at one. So for example here, this is for beer. And Hold on a second. Yeah, here we go. So beer, and we have the icon, the language type, text speech, the language text, and then I can add as many items as I want, so I can keep adding more. So that I added that in afterwards for kind of flexibility if this were to be expanded out. So there's that's the main type of scriptable object in the game. The item behavior then, which each item has, the item would have, they store the multilingual data, and they also have a behavior for tweening where get they get bigger and smaller. So this kind of highlights the player where they are. So they're made here in the prefab manager, and that's, you can see here in the in the other scene. So if we look at the level scene, so if we go scenes and we're going to look at the level scene, and there we have the managers, and these are all instances of the classes that are made in the scripts. So for example, here you have the event manager, and that follows the observer pattern. So it listens out for scriptable object events, and then it does calls a different script and runs a method on runtime. Selection manager, this follows the factory pattern. So it's an iSelector, and the idea is that with an iSelector you have different types. So you can do raycast, and you can also do a spear cast. So if I go to my player controller, you'll see that because for the player controller, I had to use a raycast for the player because the left mouse wasn't working. But that inherits from the, or iSelector is it, yeah, raycast inherits from that. So if you make an iSelector, that'll be a raycast. And also like that to kind of not like to reuse code and follow the abstract pattern. I inherited from the character controller for my player controller because there's only a few differences, and just added a few methods that need to be taken in. So just setting the animation. Same here with the timer behavior. So with the timer behavior, you have your different fields, and this is abstract, so you have to inherit it. And the idea is that you have a set amount of time, and the set amount of time is set within the game, and within that, the clock behavior inherits from that, and the clock behavior, this will just change the color of the text on runtime within the game. With the different managers within the game, I tried to break them up. So initially I had just a game manager, and I realized that the prefab manager, there a lot of the logic could be moved out. So I made the prefab manager class, and I tried to do that as much as I could. With the sound manager, this was a do not destroy singleton. So this is a class I made which inherited from singleton, and it just means it doesn't destroy. And within the game manager uses a lot, it calls a lot on the UI manager instance. So there's no point in making the UI manager when you only need one instance of it. So you wouldn't use the observer pattern here. And just to look at the different cameras within the game, there's two cameras within the game. So there's a main camera, and in the main camera, there's a UI camera which acted as an overlay for the camera. And this just recorded UI elements. And here you can see in the main camera, you have the stack. So the UI camera, which acted as an overlay. Overall, I think I've learned a lot in this project. Unfortunately, I think due to time restraints, the shop does not look as well as it possibly could. I would have liked to put more lighting and different effects within the game. Overall, though, I think the mechanics are very good, and I do think that the game could be expanded out. So it could be expanded out using the GitHub that I've committed to regularly. And I liked using the Gitmojis within my commits because I find they're very useful. Also, a interesting website I found was SpeechGen, and this is used for generating the audio within the game. Thanks very much for listening.